What is oh, Jesus. Cut. What's going on, guys? I want to do another video for you guys tonight about, you know what, the brand new 2020 GT500 versus the Redeye wide body versus the Camaro ZL1. It's been a while since I've done a video. It's been hectic crazy around here since the holidays, but I've been wanting to do this, so let's get into it. Let's go ahead and watch the video real quick. I'm just going to show you the quick actual race so we actually get right into this video and so we can actually talk, guys. So let's go ahead and hit this play button.
Come on, buddy. Oh, wheel spin's gnarly. Get it! Get out of here! There you go.
That's the video. I think the first thing I actually want to do, I want to dive into one thing real quick. I've done a similar video where I had a catchy thumbnail with the Bugatti Veyron, the Bugatti Chiron Super Sport when it hit 300 miles an hour. Man, I got blasted in the comments, which is what it is. But I kind of want to be really clear, guys, that this isn't like I'm a only Mopar guy, or I'm hating on Mopar, I'm hating on Ford, I'm only a Ford guy. You should know that I actually currently own a Mustang. I currently own a Charger 392. I have an 06 Mustang GT that was turbocharged. Blew that up at the track. I have a video of that from years ago. Link in the description. Check it out. It's pretty good. My current daily driver is my Charger Scat Pack 392. I love it. I still like Chevy, although I prefer Mustang over Camaro, but I would love to have a Corvette in my life one of these days. I love the C7 Z06 and C701, and I think the C8 is going to be phenomenal. So I'm a big fan of all three major Detroit companies, although most of the cars aren't made in Detroit anymore, but that's a conversation for another day. Big fan. I think competition's been great. Although you can argue this kind of dates back with the Mustang. Right now, Dodge, since the release of the Hellcat since 2015, has been explosive. It's changed the auto market, especially for American performance cars. So that's kind of that. So I hope that clears that up, that I'm not too biased, although we're all a little biased. Next thing I want to talk about is the Camaro. I want to talk about the Camaro really quick because I'm kind of actually going to dismiss it in this conversation. This is my video after all. If you want to complain about it, comment below. The Camaro did in this video very, very well. It actually beat the Redeye, and I think there's a couple reasons for that, which is sort of going to get into this whole purpose of this video. So the Camaro beat it, I think, for a couple key reasons. First reason is weight. Believe it or not, it's the only vehicle under 4,000 pounds, which is unfortunately sad, although that's what happens when you have supercharged, big, beefy motors with all the new and greatest safety technology. So it's sort of a give and take. I think the Shelby's right around 4,100 pounds, and the Redeye's right around 4,500 pounds. I mean, these vehicles are getting up there. But that's the first advantage the Camaro has. Second advantage that it has, although we're going to kind of really get into this, is although all three cars have street tires, the Camaro has some type of oh geez, what was it? Goodyear Super Cup, like R3 tires that come with that particular package, the 1LE package. If you actually look it up on Tire Rack, they call it like a street/competition tire. So it's very, very gray area what type of tire that is, and that is a major advantage, especially when some of the other cars in this competition don't have anything like that. So that's sort of it. On paper, the Camaro runs around 11.4, I think I read, with this package, which is very impressive, with a good trap speed. With that being said, the other two cars run in the 10s on paper. The GT500 run a 10.6 on paper, and the Redeye run a 10.8 on paper, which is why I'm going to talk about those two in particular. I kind of want to give you a reason why I'm kind of excluding the Camaro, although it did very well in this particular test, which kind of shows that real world doesn't always equal to what it is on paper. But that's the two that I'm going to focus on. So let's get into it. Let's start with the 2020 GT500. Talking about the 2020 Ford Mustang, the 2020 Ford Shelby, Mustang Shelby GT500, it's a mouthful. Anyway, the GT500, it comes equipped with a Michelin Sport Cup 2 tire. Everyone's going to click off this video because I can't talk English apparently. And that tire, once again, is kind of where I'm going to go with this video. It's a street tire, but once again, according to Tire Rack, is classified as a like street / competition tire. And as you can see here, it's an awesome looking tire. The car on paper, according to Ford, will run a 10.6, I think, at over 130 miles an hour. So that's very, very impressive. Let's take a second and talk about, while all three cars are automatics, this is a true dual clutch transmission, where it actually has two clutches, which basically a lot of the Germans and Italians, other supercars, other high-end cars have been utilizing forever. I'm sure, even if you're not really into transmissions, I'm sure you've heard of the Porsche PTK, which is their dual clutch transmission, which they've had forever now. I'm no engineer, but the basic idea behind the dual clutch, it has two clutches in the transmission, just like a manual transmission, like clutch, and apparently it's something to do with the computer. Will predict when you're about to shift, so it already takes the one clutch to put you in the very next gear, so when you hit the shift, it's there like instantaneously. So that's my like non-engineering stupid version of a definition of the dual clutch. I hope that helps. We got the dual clutch. We talked about the tires. This is, and it's important for me to actually take a second and talk about bone stock, because you're out on the internet. Everybody's got different definition of bone stock. I mean, some people will call a car stock if the engine never got ripped open too. I mean, you can put nitrous in it, or super bolt-on turbo kit, and some people still call it stock. For the sake of this particular video and this argument, when I refer to bone stock, I am referring all the way to the tire, the OEM originally equipped tire, everything that comes from the manufacturer, which is kind of where the twist is going to be, because I kind of want to play with that a little bit. But that's sort of it, the GT500, and it's already ran a 10.6 in real life, by the way. I forget the guy's channel, young kid, ran a 10.6 speed phenomenon or something to that effect. Sorry I butchered it, but I'm sure I've heard of him by now. If you haven't, go check out his videos. He already is racing the crap out of it. And he has very minimum track experience. And I'm not talking shit. It seems like this guy knows how to drive. And it seems in a couple of videos I've watched, he's already had circuit. He's already taken other cars on the circuit. So it seems like this kid knows how to drive. Jesus, tonight's not my night. So I'm not going to talk shit like the rest of the internet is, just because he's a young like kid and he looks very young. It seems like this kid knows how to drive, but with a minimum track experience, and he's already gotten that car down to, I believe, the 10.6, which is very, very impressive. They did on the track. So some of the concerns with the car, at least from the drag racing community, some people are actually concerned with the dual clutch. Although we can kind of classify that as an auto, the other two cars in this competition have the more traditional torque converter. In drag racing, what a lot of people do is once they really get into it, they change out the torque converter to get a higher RPM and a harder launch out of the hole. And if you know anything about drag racing, it's really all in the 60 foot, which essentially measures the type of traction you're getting off the line. So that's sort of everything in drag racing for the most part. So a lot of guys are skeptical about what they're going to do, because I believe the Shelby will allow you to rev up to 3,500, but not any higher. So I'm not sure if like the tuning companies will fix that or how that's going to be addressed. So it's not my area of expertise. Moving on to the Redeye, moving on to the kind of the point of the video, guys, is the Redeye has a big disadvantage. So we've talked about its weight. Although it's the heaviest car in the group, it also has the most power. 779 horsepower, 4,500 pounds. Dodge claims a 10.8 quarter mile time at like I think 100, I don't know, something ignorant, like 130, which is still like, in my eyes, stupidly fast. 131, something to that effect. With that being said, the hilarious thing about this, guys, is it's got an all-season tire. It's got the Pirelli P0s, which is what I have in my Scat Pack. Although that's pathetic, the more worst thing is Dodge will actually offer you this car in the narrow body, which comes with the same tire at a 275. At least these are 305, but they're still pretty hilarious, which is why if you're watching the video, there's actually a portion of the video where the Redeye is literally laying burnout marks. The other two cars have traction. It's pretty evident they're not leaving any marks. The Redeye is still leaving marks, because that type of tire with that type of power is not going to hook up. An all-season tire and performance don't go hand in hand. Especially when the other two cars were equipped with what Tire Rack labels their tires as street/competition. So that's sort of where this video is going, guys. I want to take a second to talk about, what would happen if all these cars were on drag radials. Would the Shelby GT500 obviously would get faster, but would all of a sudden the Redeye be able to put its power down and then actually showcase its power? I mean, it still has more horsepower than the GT500, or is a slightly crazy that I'm talking about 4,000 pound cars being the lighter car, or is a slightly lighter Shelby with the fast shifting dual clutch still going to keep the lead? I think it's close. I think the Redeye would have a slight advantage with everything else being equal. That's the challenging part, trying to find races where everything's equal variables. I mean, you can have the same track, same conditions with two different driver modes, like two different people with different experiences, and it's still you're just not going to know. Once again, guys, I am kind of doing this video for fun, like kind of a what if thing. I do think if all these cars had the same exact drag radial, one of the bigger, M&H, Nittos, or any of those other big name drag radials, I'm curious what would happen. Comment below what you think. You can also comment and tell me this video is stupid and that I'm a hater on Mustang or a hater on whoever, Camaro. It doesn't even matter anymore. But I think it'd be a fun conversation. So many people are talking about this. There's definitely some hurt feelings across the board. I mean, in the Mopar community, I got a lot of people talking about, how come this car's not being compared to the Demon. I think it's silly to compare it for the Demon for a couple major reasons. The biggest reason being the Demon is no longer in production. The Demon is designed to be a quarter-mile car. It's almost identical to the Redeye, except for everything's changed out with the idea of drag racing, where the Redeye and the GT500 have sort of an all-around going on here with the, street tires, but the Demon legitimately has a drag radial. Tire Rack wouldn't classify that as a street tire or near street tire or whatever. That is just a flat-out competition drag radial with suspension that is set up for drag racing. If you've ever watched a Demon race, the bottom, the weight transfer from the suspension goes to the rear end. The rear end squats. Sometimes they do a little miniature, cool little wheelie. And those things take off, and that allows them to get the 0 to 60, the 60 foot as low as they do and run the times they do. So I think the Redeye makes way more sense to compare to the GT500. Once again, the Redeye has the SRT Hellcat suspension, the more normal traditional suspension, to compare with the Shelby versus the Demon's more drag setup. So I don't really think the Demon makes much sense to compare. And I'm a Dodge guy as well. Been very happy with my Scat Pack. So that's what people have been complaining about. So tell me what you think below. If all cars had drag radials, what would you think would happen? I think it'd be at minimum, you're talking about a much closer race with the Redeye and the GT500. A lot of YouTubers have these cars now. Stang Mode, I think, is getting his. I got his. I can't keep up. I think Street Speed just dropped a video on the GT500. Plenty of big YouTubers have Redeyes. So we'll see if these cars start lining up to see what really happens. Once again, comment below. I want your input. Tell me what you think. I actually am very involved with my videos. I'm usually responding, and I want to know what you guys think. If you did feel like this was a decent video, I would love for you to smash that like button, because if you haven't heard this part by now, if you watch YouTube at all, we're always bitching that you smash the like button, the video helps the video circulate, and I'd appreciate that because I put a lot of time into this, and so do most other YouTubers. So if you like it, smash the like button. Please leave a comment below. Subscribe for more videos. As I mentioned before, I have a Mustang, I have a Charger. I have the highest, in my opinion anyway, and I doubt there'll be another out there. I think I am the highest mileage Charger 392 Scat Pack YouTuber, that is. I mean, obviously there's other ones out there probably with more miles, but there's no other YouTubers with over 100,000 miles like my Scat Pack has. I still have my Mustang, and if you haven't figured out by the desktop, I am almost have my Supra done, which is one of the reasons why the poor Mustang and the Charger are kind of left alone. And the Charger's a daily driver, but the Supra, that's the toy, and that thing's going to be unreal when it's done. So if you want to see some content on that, please go ahead and hit that subscribe. I will see you guys next video. I'm a little snuffed and a little out of it, so I'm sorry if I seem weird. But that's that. You guys have a good night. Take it easy. I'm out of here.